What are you tailing me for? Cat got your tongue? Who's your boss?
Sometimes the villain outsmarts the hero in a movie. In a good cat and mouse type of film, the hero must rely on his wits, not just brawn, to beat the bad guy. Here's the top 10 smartest decisions ever made by movie villains. Number 10. Harry Lime in The Third Man. In a Law & Order episode from 2005, Jack McCoy is questioning a man accused of having caused multiple deaths by selling fake vaccines to doctors. Out of the blue, McCoy asks him if he remembers the film The Third Man. What he has realized is that the carelessness for human life of the defendant is similar to the one displayed by Harry Lime in that film. We can say that Harry Lime has become a quintessential depiction of evil in cinema. His cunningness is matched only by his cruelty, and out of all the smart villains in cinema history, his case seems particularly striking, perhaps because he works in the shadows for the vast majority of the film and then makes a grand entrance. It certainly does help that he is played by Orson Welles, who among other things was known for injecting his characters with a particular charisma.
What is that for?
Would you hold still, please, sir?
Number 9. Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. Before the release of The Dark Knight, the title for most iconic villain in a 21st century movie had to go to Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem. He instantly became recognizable for the contrast between his almost comical hairdo and his horrendous actions. Chigurh is an hitman, and little else is known about him. What is certain is the absolute coldness that pervades him, even when he decides the fate of his victims with a coin toss. The concept of unstoppable evil can be found in many novels by Cormac McCarthy, the author of No Country for Old Men, and Chigurh is certainly a good example of it. With a mission to accomplish, he stops at nothing and proves to be relentless and adaptive. Only an unexpected and completely casual accident stops him near the end of the film, an ironic twist from McCarthy's novel that the Coens must have appreciated.
I think he's dead. Good guess.
You killed him?
No, I shot him. Bullets in the fall killed him.
Number 8. Vincent from Collateral. Collateral, 2004, was one of the first films by Michael Mann in which he experimented with digital cameras, a trait that became more and more relevant in the legendary director's filmography. Aside from this technical point, the film is mainly notable for its tight plot and the performance of the two main actors, Jamie Foxx as a timid taxi driver, and Tom Cruise as the ruthless gun-for-hire known only as Vincent. The two meet on a fateful night, when Vincent has a multiple killing job to do, and he hires the taxi driver to drive him around Los Angeles. Vincent is depicted as a man who is pure method. His modus operandi has him perfectly organized and ready to react to any situation. Not much is revealed about his personal life, but he is clearly a professional. At one point, he launches into a nihilistic tirade aimed at freeing Fox's character of his doubts. It is ironic that Vincent's ultimate demise comes from the taxi driver himself, who in the few hours that have passed seems to have taken a page or two from Vincent's book, Killed by His Own Philosophy.
I made my own choices. You think you did? That's her genius.
Number 6. Raul Silva in Skyfall. Javier Bardem gave us the most memorable James Bond villain of the Daniel Craig era. He is at the same time an homage to the classic Bond antagonist, a mirror figure to Bond himself, and an original, modern version of the classic villains of the series. Partially inspired by the Dark Knight's Joker in that they both organize elaborate plans to create terror in the city, and at one point they both intentionally get caught. Silva is a former spy who knows how to act in a field operation. However, he is also a technological genius, proving that sometimes the real threat sits behind a screen. He feels more grounded in reality than many Bond villains of the past, and his intelligence only enhances the threat he poses to Bond, M, and the whole MI6.
I've never murdered anyone in my life. The decisions are up to them.
Yeah, well, putting a gun to
to someone's head and forcing them to pull the trigger is still a murder.
Just one is force a problem for you.
Number 5, John Kramer in Saw. Horror cinema is defined by the character of the killer. Sometimes he is a relentless killing machine, a la Michael Myers in Halloween, and other times he is a calculating monster with seemingly infinite tricks up his sleeve to torture and finish off his victims. No character in recent cinema history fits this last type better than the Jigsaw Killer, portrayed by Tobin Bell. His main trait is the cleverness he employs for the torture machines he creates for his victims, who are inevitably put in front of excruciating and strenuous acts of survival, only to eventually fail them and be punished. The character was an obvious source of horror film gold from the beginning, which maybe justifies the endless series of sequel of this franchise more than other cases of worn-out and tired premises that get stretched out. National law enforcement.
Big metaphor guy. I love it. Makes you sound super smart.
I am smart.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 3, Loki. The MCU has given audiences multiple intelligent villains to enjoy watching, but Loki remains one of the most memorable. The mischievous god gives his brother, Thor, a run for his money time and time again. Loki is an expert at creating underhanded schemes and using the power of trickery to fool his enemies. However, sometimes he can be too clever for his own good, costing him victories that could have been secured with ease. Loki doesn't allow setbacks to slow him down. He always has another plan in the works. Proving over the years that he's more than just a villain, Loki is a complicated person who looks out for himself the only way he can.
Are you so desperate to fight criminals that you lock yourself in to take them on one at a time? I counted 6, Mr. Wayne. The world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Number 2, Ras Al Ghul. He may not appear as often as some of Batman's flashier villains, but he proves himself one of the smartest foes the Caped Crusader has ever faced. Al Ghul has survived for centuries because of his impressive fighting skills and cunning intellect. He's an expert marksman and assassin. His ability to repeatedly resurrect himself makes him nearly impossible to beat. Furthermore, he is a master of lurking in the shadows, patiently biding his time until he finds the perfect moment to strike.
Ask for miracles, dear. I give you D-F-B-I.
Number 1, Hans Gruber. Die Hard gave birth to a very successful film franchise and became a classic among action movies. Part of the reason for its popularity came from the strength of its villain, Hans Gruber. The late Alan Rickman expertly portrayed this ruthless German terrorist, a jack of all trades whose excellent planning skills kept him one step ahead of his enemies. Even when things don't go his way, Gruber easily improvises. He forces the hero, John McClane, to move beyond his comfort zone to defeat him. It takes a unique villain to push a hero beyond their limitations, which makes Hans Gruber one of the smartest and greatest movie villains. That was our show for today. What did you think? Did you like how clever these villains were? Did we leave your favorite villain out? What was your favorite twist in a movie that showcased a strong villain? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise also in the comments section. And, until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper, may the force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.